Hey gang, welcome back. It is I, DrBossKey, and I'm super excited. So we have a streamer friend. His name is Johnnyhelicopter, and he likes to stream STGs and gets kind of deep into them, which is pretty great. Very generously, he decided to play our game on stream. And this is the 0.9.0 pre-alpha build. So some things have changed since then, but I thought we could watch it. Let me switch on over and listen to what he had to say, go over his commentary, and see what's what. So real quick, Johnnyhelicopter, look at that guy. Oh boy. And you can get a sense here. I guess he just recently is playing some old school Doom here. So this is him in the corner. And to give a sense for what he's all up into. So he says stuff like, I want to CC Espagaluda. I always triple over that. Espagaluda 2 again. So it's really, really cool. So he's deep into these games, so it's going to be very interesting to see him play. He doesn't really play the side-scrolling shmups as much. So we had a quick chat. Well, we had a quick chat like months ago at this point. But I've been making a point to like lurk his streams on occasion and catch his stuff. So anyways, let's jump into it because I'm holding this coffee and I really want to get my yums on. All right, so mic is on. Check there. We got that bits. All right, here we go. I got my little task list here, and we'll go over his write-up and feedback at the end. Ooh, I'm excited.
So DrBossKey, shoot him up.
And now it's
I've already been through this just to make sure it doesn't blow up.
Now we've changed the game. The title is Interstellar Sentinel. So we're kind of putting our Steam page up. So it was cool that he checked
Read the fonts.
Yep.
Oh, and it's rebinding as soon as I scroll through this. Okay.
Yeah. So that stuff is mostly fixed. I changed the background as well, so it's easier to read. Not going to change the font too much. I think it's probably fine in this case. Resize the menu entries, and we've had a bunch of bug fixes since then.
I see. I have to like use my keyboard to scroll through this. I mean, this is just pre-alpha stuff that'll get ironed out.
Yeah, it's a total mess. I think we're better, but I still have a couple bugs in for the developer as well. So
I don't really know what to do about Dead Zone. I assume that means that this has analog controls instead of digital.
It's got both.
But I'll cross that hurdle when I get to it.
Yep. Hopefully nothing got rebound there.
That's strange because I'm using an arcade stick with digital controls.
Ooh, good to know.
Okay, what have we got? What am I looking at?
Is up my head a little bit.
Bottom weapon, top weapon, super weapon. Choose your difficulty, lives, score, multiplier, medals.
All right. Taking in the UI.
Shoot my choice. Oh, I see. Normal, casual, hard, heroic. I'll just go normal.
Okay. Ooh, boy. Exciting. The game's come a long way in the last couple months. We just hit alpha just 2 weeks ago.
Revis Island approach.
Level select helper text switch.
Okay, so that's like a laser thing that lasts a short amount of time. That's just rapid fire that goes in both directions. And like a little laser, a little missile.
Oh, nice. He's getting it.
It's unused.
See? Nice. This is why I hooked up the news button.
Super weapon yet.
Yeah, it kind of worked. Holy shit! You design these things you don't really know.
Okay.
Just reinforcement. Ooh, nice.
Yep. Auto mid weapon. Automatic firing weapon to give you more utility.
Super weapon online.
Butt saver. Cancels enemy bullets and makes your ship invincible. Try it out now. Jesus Christ, that's one hell of an animation.
Super weapon online.
We've toned it down a
so
tiny
that's
bit
like
since then.
I guess I'm picking up like energy for my super weapon. Yep. Is this like... I mean, I'm playing with an arcade stick, so I don't know if this is supposed to have analog controls as well. Okay. Repair hull points. Is that like a health meter? Oh, I have an HP meter. No kidding.
You
In the
found it.
bottom left. I don't see what... Oh, okay, I got a weapon upgrade.
Super weapon online.
Thanks for the help. Let's take a look at our ship schematic. This is your vulnerability point. Okay, so my hitbox. Hitbox in the front center, I'm not really a fan of. But maybe that'll change if I actually play the game instead of just the tutorial. That's just like a instant response I had. Because I think a lot about where the hitbox should go in shmup ships. I feel like it should be in like the center of gravity of the ship instead of like the geometric center. But like my feeling with this ship sprite is that the hitbox should be like more in the center or the back instead of the front, but you know, I actually have to play the game.
I think that's fair feedback. So what he's talking about, right, is that instead of having the hitbox where you take damage here, which I need to take a note real quick. Ship, let's see, tutorial. Tutorial is ship hitbox graphic too big? Double check. I think I actually had the ring a little bit wider than the actual vulnerability spot, but I think it's worth checking. So yeah, so what he's saying is that here, and it's just kind of the way that we designed the ship itself, that he'd rather the vulnerability spot be the center of mass. So it'd be right about here. Of course, it doesn't fit graphically, but you know, the graphics aren't everything, right? So we could technically move that spot, but I'd have to create some kind of some glowy spot. I mean, it's easy enough to move, but I need to create some kind of visual indicator. And it could look, it would just be like a particle, like a red particle. I don't think I would go back and change the sprite itself in this particular case. Also been tinkering with the idea of turning the ship into a character and keeping the top and bottom, because the reason why the ship is so vertically tall is to allow gameplay choices from using your top weapon and your bottom weapons, and then having the space, which I found kind of interesting, different than other shmups. So anyways, appreciate the feedback. Let's keep going.
Previous island approach.
Super weapon online.
Nice, use both weapons. He's a very thoughtful player. Yeah, I feel good. In the last build, we adjusted the soul bits, the glowy bits. They're a little less obtrusive when they come out of the enemies now.
Mode activated.
Pacifist? Oh. Okay. So I guess I'm just... Okay. Is this for like scoring purposes?
Uh-huh.
I see the timer at the bottom of the screen that I guess I'm supposed to not take damage.
Oh, he pressure's on.
And I presume this isn't a one-hit kill because there is a...
3, 2, 1. Pacifist mode complete.
Because there's a health meter.
Wow, he intuited all of that. That's amazing.
So those are like the different upgrades you can get. I see. What happens if I just pick up all of them? I see. They just
Oh wow, they
override
have this
one
weapon in
another.
it.
I reckon that
Wow, that
once
weapon's
you pick one
gone
up,
now.
the others should disappear.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. So he said that when he picks up one, he would rather the other ones disappear. The other item plates. Can I do that? I'm not sure if I can technically do that. It's interesting feedback. I mean, my thinking was, and if we go back just a little bit. So here's the first time he's basically at the item plates, right, for the different weapons. So this is the reward for pacifist mode. Yeah, so I mean, my thinking was that you finish pacifist mode, you have 3 choices. They're also collectibles, so the last one's the only one that matters. So it's sort of like an order. Or if you choose one and you try it out, and this is my thinking at least, you try it out and you're like, oh, I don't really want this one, then you can get the next one, do the same thing. So you've got a little bit of visual help with the item plates themselves. But yeah, it's interesting. So you can see here. So, but I mean, I could. I also wanted to give player choice, but also this is the way you get maximum scores. So, all right, I'll food for thought.
Different upgrades you can get. I see. What happens if I just pick up all of them? I see. They just overwrite one another. I reckon that once you pick one up, the others should disappear. What is that?
Monster trophy.
These enemy sprites kind of remind me of Death Smiles a little bit.
Yeah, Death Smiles is fantastic. Tutorial. Should we train monster trophies? I think the answer is probably yes. I'm trying to keep the tutorial compact, but I think, you know, it helps to lay it out. I mean, it's pretty easy to point out. So, all right.
Oh, jeez.
Wait.
Remind me of Death Smiles a little bit.
He said, "Oh, geez, I want to see what happened."
Oh, jeez.
No. I think he was looking at the art. I'm not sure.
It would be nice, I think, if there was some more visual indicator about the time between each attack you can do with the charge weapon. Sea Titan revenge.
So he was saying, this is great, so that he would like more of an indicator because basically the bottom weapon is a press and hold. You have to press and hold it down, and then it's about a half second to it's about 0.7 seconds before it shoots. It's a more of a skill gap weapon because it has a charge up, meaning it takes longer for you to aim, but also to deploy. It also does crazy amounts of damage. So this is part of the answer to beating down heavier tanky enemies. So, but I think that's valuable feedback, which is, let's see here, player bottom weapon. So you can see here, actually, there's a little charge glowy here, right? I can frame step back. This is why I use the pot player. So you can see, and the thing is I know it's there, but if he's not seeing it, there it is. So like once you hold the button, the charge happens, weapon fires, we got a cooldown, and then the charge happens again. Okay. So, you know, I wouldn't even have thought about that. So it's been, you go so blind to these things after a while. So player bottom weapon, increase charge charge VFX. Yeah, perfect. All right, perfect. That's good. It's good.
Charge weapon, Sea Titan, 3 manuals. Whoa, okay. I wonder if the body is a hitbox. I do like a huge sprite like that. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun hooking this guy up. My only
I think
qualm.
the red flashing is a little too epilepsy for me.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Enemy flashing. Problem. I'm not sure if it's the size of the sprite. So when you shoot the enemy, it only happens on the last layer, unfortunately, because of the way I hooked up the damage states. But I mean, I can change it to another color, but I don't think it's going to from red. So I can make it lighter, I can make it darker, maybe a little darker. Flashing, adjust flash color to be a little less bright. All right.
Like maybe if the contrast wasn't so high. Are these like power-ups? What are these? These star things. I don't know. Hold on, I'm gonna turn down the game volume a little.
I know
bit
the
just
game
in
is still
case it's
super
too
hot.
loud because I think my commentary should be louder for this purpose.
It works out well, but all good. Let's see here. All right, so let's skip. Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
all right, tweet. He is doing a
I
great.
think these gold things are a little bit too cluttery. I don't know what they are, to be honest. I can't tell if they're like score medallions or if they're like some pyrotechnic thing.
So we're talking about the spore drive here. It's an interesting weapon because they're low damage, but they cover the world. So one of the things that we've done since then is we've changed the transparency, the opacity of the bullets a little bit. They're still numerous, but also let's take a look here. That I haven't looked at their hit particles yet, because part of what you would see here. Okay, yeah, okay. There are these yellow crusty bits. When they bounce into enemies, you can see them. You can see that they're doing damage to enemies. It's fair feedback, though. A lot of the game is about weapons and discovery.
I don't understand how I got this weapon either. I don't like if I picked it up somewhere. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
I do like this. I do like this background though. I think like the level. You know, like the background is pretty cool.
Nice. Okay.
Some of these enemy designs are pretty neat too. It does give me like a Death Smiles kind of vibe.
I love Death
I just
Smiles.
think these gold things are like much too cluttery
Okay.
on the screen.
Yeah, hopefully the tweaks will improve that.
Not a fan of Hori Band. To be honest, this is my first time ever playing a Hori Shmup.
Oh, Hori as in horizontal. Love the Aussies. Yeah, Life Force was
Just
such.
for some context, this is the pre-alpha build of a shmup that a friend of a friend is developing, and they wanted a little bit of input, and so here I am.
Thank you. He's talking to his
I will
community
say
right now.
I can't tell why my firing type is changing. I don't know if it's because like I don't know if it's like a glitch because I picked up the 3 power-ups before, or if they're supposed to time out or something.
Interesting.
I can't really tell, like... Yeah, I feel like the position of the hitbox isn't really helping. I feel like it would make more sense if it was in the center back of the ship, but, you know, that's also... Fortress of Flesh. That's just, like, my perspective.
I can appreciate that. I'll keep that. I'll take that under consideration. I'll think on that.
I do like this boss design. It really does make me think of Death Smiles. Also, Terraria.
Terraria is great.
I'll try the super weapon. That animation is so huge. I really feel like the contrast should be turned down.
I tweaked it down a little bit.
Hold on. Hold on. I see. I'm supposed to destroy the 3 skulls on the front. All the good games I play happen to be vert. Actually, there was one Hori I play tested and I liked. Yeah, I don't have too much experience with horizontal shmups. I would like to play more. Like I do like want to give Akai Katana a go eventually. For example,
Death Smiles is great.
Boss feels a bit JPEG. I get that, but I kind of like
JPEG.
the designs so far.
Okay.
I'm trying not to be like super negative or overly critical.
You can be as critical as you like. I don't mind.
Oh, it came back. Okay. It is in pre-alpha for what it's worth.
Yeah, we're a few months out.
Yeah, if it's not cave, it's bad.
Cave or the Masters and Toho.
Okay, I'm about to run out of health. Yeah, there it is. I've got 6 lives though. I guess I have to get the top. Yeah, and I don't understand why my firing type is changing. Tutorial. Is this a safe spot?
It is.
I don't even think. Oh, I think the range of this attack isn't.
Yep, you gotta get closer.
No, I can't tell why I'm not hitting it. Alright, I'm gonna have to like... What the fuck? Maybe I'll just go here. Okay. Level select. Level 2. If I pick level select... What the heck does that do? I don't, like, this is just level 1. Do I get to do level 1 again? Oh boy, okay. Oh, I think that should be made clearer that you can go up and down.
I made it. There's an arrow.
Wait, why can I pick the rest of them? Challenge levels. Weapon room.
Yeah, we went free form mostly.
Well, I'll go level 2. Wait, did it despawn?
I got a
feel
bug
like
in there
something
sometimes.
Despawned in there.
Yeah.
Go in here.
It comes back, but yeah, there's a bug in the trigger.
Previous Island Forest. Yo, what's up, Umbra? How's it going? I'm playtesting a game that is in pre-alpha, developed by a friend of a friend. What's up, Tom? Yeah, let's get the record. Let's get the recce, baby. But yeah, this is pre-alpha game in development by a friend of a friend. Can I pick these up? Okay. Dear God. I will say, I don't know what I think about a shmup with, like, lives.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck that. I can't tell what's hitting me.
Alright, let's take a look at that again.
My life count is in the bottom left.
Alright.
Think about a shmup. Dear God.
Okay, so here he is.
Okay.
Alright, so
Pre-alpha game in development by a friend of a friend.
so he's chatting a bit. It's good.
Okay.
Dodges that. Goes down,
Dear
gets
God.
hyped by those.
I will say, I don't know what I think about a shmup with, like, lives.
He's thinking and talking.
Oh, fuck that.
And then what?
Lives.
And then it sort of
I know
just
what I
full.
think
So it's interesting, right? So
God.
super cool. And this is the thing is when you're streaming too, because your attention's in different spots. So he's got these new enemies, right? And it's the first time that he's encountered these enemies. So first he hits these guys down here, totally good. He sees them. He avoids
what's
the
up, Umbra?
spiky
How's it going?
shelf, which is great, right?
Developed by a friend of a friend.
And then these guys he knows. All right, then so they're called the Lost Soulless, right? So they don't take any damage from shooting, and I'm still waiting on a fix to make that more clear.
Pre-alpha game in development
But he's
by
chatting.
a friend of a friend. Can I pick these up?
And then he's like, "Can I pick these up?" And so he's like, "Uh-oh." So he gets in there and he checks.
Okay.
Bullets emerge, right? And he's like, "Oh shit." Okay, so it looked like he picked it up because he was on top of it, right? And I think I increased the size just a tiny bit of the sort of warning, the proximity indicator. But then he's collecting these, right? But these are bullets, so he takes damage from here, blows up. Monster trophy appears. Why did that monster trophy appear? Let me take a look at that. I think technically it's based on. Oh no, it's because he killed all the enemies. He screen cleared all the enemies, including that one Lost Soulless. But this guy appears here, takes his attention, right?
Dear God.
So he says, "Dear God,"
I will say.
and then he's thinking a little bit. And so what starts to happen here is this is good. These bullets push him back. He wants to collect the monster trophy, and then not all of a sudden, but these guys, because of proximity, are starting to like shoot their bullets off. And so what's going to happen
I
here?
don't know what I think about a shmup with, like, lives.
Shmup with lives. Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck that. Like, live.
And so, yeah. So, I mean, he's thinking.
I will say, I don't.
He tries to get the top trophy, but wasn't able to do it. Winds up coming back down. But at this point, this is becoming
What I think about
dangerous.
A shmup with, like, lives. Oh, fuck that. I can't tell what's hitting me.
Okay, so he says he can't tell what's hitting him. All right, because I think part of it is okay. So the good news. So there's some good news, right? Let me just double check that. I gotta double check. I might want to put some tracers on these. All right. So let's see here. Demon bulb. I may have already changed it, but I got to double check. Double check gravity bullets. Should they have a trail? because let me see. I'm gathering my thoughts here. So the thing is these are coming up, right? And then they do this thing where they change their orientation with gravity, and then they fall. And I think they're bright, all right, but it's a little bit bright in the background here. There's a lot of glowy stuff here, and as a result, it's harder to see when these come down. And this is the first time he's really encountered these guys, because the first batch of these guys he killed pretty quickly. So, all right.
I can't tell what's hitting me.
Good to know.
My life count is in the bottom left. You know, like, that shit's cool. I think that's like a really clever... Like an environmental hazard.
Thanks, man. Uh-oh, it's getting tricky. Oh. He was admiring the treant, and the level starts to collapse on him because he's not killing all of his prioritized targets. Uh-oh, here we go.
Oh. Okay, I got squished.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm alright, Umbra. I hope you're well.
Alright, he's dodging those. That's good. Alright, he's picking it up.
I don't think I'm a fan of the glowing effect on the on some of these bullets.
Okay.
Like these things.
I've toned those down as well. I definitely got that feedback.
Makes the actual bullet really hard to see.
Yeah, especially since they have nice hard lines on them. Good feedback. I tend to like glowy messes of things, which is not super great. Oh boy, first time he's seen him. Whoa.
Okay, that's the challenge mode thing that I picked up in level 1. I don't really want to pick it up here. This pacifist mode, and I see that the Buddha icon must mean pacifist mode. That's a pretty funny way of communicating pacifist mode.
Yeah, it was silly graphic design bits.
Am I dead? Yep.
Oh. Alright, let's see how...
The ship should be smaller. You reckon? I don't know if I think it's okay.
It's a point of contention. It's different.
I think the hitbox should be like in a different spot. I guess the ship could be a little bit smaller.
It's smaller than what it used to be. But yeah, I got some feedback on that. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I will say it's hard to tell, like... I know, like, this is just my first play, and I don't know how to... I don't really, like, want to just... say nothing of value. I don't want to just say, like... every thought that comes into my head.
Works for me. Your thinking has been fantastic,
like,
by the way.
That's kind of cool. This design's kind of cool. I do like this.
Thank you. We're trying.
Yeah, the bat bullets are kind of cool. I think the name of the enemy could be a little less intrusive. get groups of them.
Wait.
That makes sense.
Hang on a second. All right, boss intro text. Consider reducing size. I'm also going to, I think I've come to the realization that I want to do boss vocalization, announcer voices for the bosses. Okay. Let's step back a little bit here.
Okay.
I think I saw that he took a hit. What was it? Oh, okay, so he took damage there around the edge. You saw that, right? So he's not getting feedback on hitting the boss, which is good because he's not. And then he steps right up into it. Oh, right on the edge. This is the one, the very final bullet there. But he gets her.
Okay, and then we get groups of them.
Yeah, so he's enjoying the design thinking that I put together. Kind of teach the pieces and phases and build it up. I also adjusted the bat bullets a little bit because they were just a little too chonky to shoot through.
I think I'm having the same issue as I did with the previous... The boss at the end of level 1, where I can't even tell if I'm damaging the thing. It feels like my bullets aren't even hitting it. It feels like my bullets are getting caught by the bats and like other bullets. Right there.
Yeah.
That's my super, by the way. That gigantic orange thing is like a super ability you get. I think that's this game's equivalent of bombs.
Yep.
That's cool.
Nice.
What on earth?
Yeah, he got out of the way.
All right, I did read those the dashed line as like a danger zone type of thing. That's cool. Yeah, like
Tried so hard.
This is giving me like Death Smiles vibes. I know like, oh, it's hoary, but it's also like kind of gothic.
Ooh. Bat's got him a little bit there. He's really into his laser sword.
I really can't tell if when I use the strong attack, if my bullets are even hitting it.
It's flashing. It's interesting. Part of it is maybe the size of the boss bar too. That might be a thing.
Oh no, like this. You see what I'm saying? It's like look at this attack. This green laser thing. It's like it has a. I don't really know if I like the fact that it has a limited range, but you know, that's coming from just a cave player. I've barely played other stuff. What's up, Skullcra? Lord of Thunder on Sega CD is good. Same for Android Assault and KO Flying Squadron.
Good games.
I haven't heard of those.
I haven't played Lord of Thunder in a billion years.
Down. 1 second. How's the shmups going? Pretty good. I've been playing a lot of Espeluna 2, and I'm playtesting a friend of a friend's game in development currently. My cave mine just keeps making it more cruel. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's why I'm really trying to like say things with a little bit of nuance, or I'm trying to, because like, what the fuck? What was that? Yeah, a bit of nuance. I'm trying to say stuff with a little bit of nuance, like in terms of constructive criticism, you know, the obvious thing is that this is in pre-alpha and it needs work. That's just how it goes.
Yep, it's a work in progress.
I haven't really heard of them, Skullcra. If they're cult classics, I'm kind of like a pleb when it comes to shmups, to be honest. I've only like been playing cave stuff, and I haven't really been into the genre for that long.
Says the guy that's got a 1 CC on Espagulita. Oh my god.
Bats coming from the left side and also that explode into suicide bullets. Yeah. You know, one of the shot types you get in this is like it fires both left and right. And there's been one time that I've seen enemies come from the left. So I'm assuming that in the later levels there'll be more.
Yeah, try to be sparing.
City had quite a variety of cool shooters. It looks good. Those bats spawning in are kind of loud though. Yeah, I have noticed some audio issues, but that's just to be expected, I suppose. A concern I have is I hope I can just credit feed through this to the end.
You can.
Trevis Mountain. I do like the backgrounds and stuff in this though.
Since then I changed the continues to 30.
Like the environment art is really nice.
Since he played this, I also adjusted, I darkened down the background to make the foreground pop a little bit more. This is the first time you're dealing with geometry.
There you go.
Into the back of it.
Ooh. Hold on, Earth. Kind of a scary sprite.
Which one, I wonder? God, it's so intense watching someone play your game. Oh!
Can I pick up from there, or do I have to play the whole game again? Alright, let's find out.
Good thing we have a level select, right? And since then, like I said, we changed the continues. He also had the lives check as well. So Johnnyhelicopter.
Oh, I can do my full name.
Johnny.
In them occasionally series. Let's replay from the start. Because you get 30 lives.
Okay.
Oh no, I can do this.
Yep. Perfect.
Alright, hold on.
Oh.
Go back into it. I'll just pick normal.
Ooh, he wants that. Totally spoken like a cave player, right?
And just go from there.
I can appreciate that. All right, so you went normal.
DG Alesta collection on Switch, which included a new game in the series, DG Alesta 3, that was made to run on real G. Seeing, you know, because like I didn't really pay attention to any shmups until like September of last year. I'd known about them, but I hadn't like paid any attention to what was happening, and I thought it was cool that ever since I started looking more into this genre, that there are games that are made to run on the old hardware, as well as modern ports. Like I found this one called ZPF, which is like, it's going to run on the Mega Drive, like on a real Mega Drive, but it's a new game. That stuff is really cool to me. Hey Wisp, how's it going? All right, Sreevis Mountain. You know what? Like, once I'm done with this, I should try doing it with a mouse and keyboard because I have a feeling that this has analog controls. And it's just strange because I'm playing it with a fight stick, an arcade stick. So it's, you know, digital controls on this thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the inputs are mapped for the analog stick there. I suspect it's D-pad, so because there's no analog range. It looks like, I mean, it doesn't look like, it looks like it's constant movement from at least looking at the player control. But I want to take a note. What was the note here? Oh yeah, let's see here. Environmental collision. All right, 1 point of damage instead of 2. So basically, here's the thinking, right? Is that I have the ability to change how much damage you take from colliding with the environment. So if you hit the ceiling or the floor or any of this stuff, right? And I wanted it to be, at first, it was like, hey, one shot, boom, you're dead. But I was like, all right, that's just a little too intense. But I still wanted the environment to be more dangerous than any normal enemy attack. And so I made the damage 2 points of damage. You have 5 maximum that you can get. You start with 3. So it meant that you could come out of a spawn, take 1 hit with environmental damage, still have the chance to not completely die, because that's the biggest punishment. And then as you fill up your hull points, you can take 2. You can basically collide 3 times before you die. So I don't know. It's variable. So I think I'm going to do a pass where I'm going to do 1 point of damage. It's consistent at that point. And it's not quite as punishing. So yeah, that was the thinking. That's why I took that note.
Like, perhaps this is meant to be played with a control stick or a mouse.
Analog stick.
Which is something I have never tried before.
Yeah, I specifically designed the game.
To be honest, I can't even name one other shmup that has analog controls.
Gunvein. There's a few in there. But yeah, the hardcore purists are really into D-pad.
Yeah, again, I really don't understand why or how my shot type is changing. Like, am I picking up like
an
item to do that? It's kind of hard to tell.
You know, it's really interesting, right?
Picking up, how am I? Yeah.
All right, so where do you pick this up?
One other shmup that has analog controls.
We're taking a look at the power up again.
Yeah, again, I really don't.
Where'd it go?
To be honest, I can't even name one other shmup that has analog. To be honest, never tried before.
Okay, you know why?
Something I have never.
All right, so here's where it's at. So he's here. There's the Loki that gives the whole point, and then there's this power up here because he managed to kill the Loki, or banish the Loki that came out of the top here. But in this particular case, it's behind the waterfall, right? Which I think is fine, because I tried to teach at the beginning. So, but the thing I had here, let's see here. I'm wondering if with the power up, I can basically say like weapon up, right? Like, let's see, weapon power up P, weapon up, announcer voice question mark, because at least it would announce it and would tie the weapon up, right? And then your weapon sets basically change at that point. So, all right, I'll keep that. I'll take that in consideration.
One, I really don't understand why
okay.
why or how my shot type is changing. Like, am I picking up like an item to do that? It's kind of hard to tell.
Yep, good feedback.
Oh, look at that little skeleton dude.
Yeah.
He was like doing sit-ups. Alright, Jesus.
It's a hard level. I darkened it down quite a bit, but we'll see. He was looking down there at the bottom. Skelly Scoocher is trying to figure out what's up with him.
Look at them go. I love these skeletons.
Super weapon online.
Oh, that's cool. I like that big hand seat. Hey, what's up, Golden? Hope you're doing well. I'm currently playtesting a shmup that a friend of a friend is developing. It's in pre-alpha currently. These things were in level 2. Okay, I will say it's kind of hard to tell what's an environmental hazard and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fucked. I think I picked the wrong side of this thing to go through.
Said everyone that's ever played a Gradius shmup. You're always like, what side should I be on?
See, like, oh, it's my hitbox, isn't it? Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, let's take a look at that again. All right, so there's this rock. So he's coming up here. The bullets from the undead dragon are kind of pushing him back. And then he's got the... So I did this on purpose because it's all kinds of evil. So these projectiles, these skeleton projections, they pass through geometry. So that's creating pressure here, right? Let's frame step this. So he is now, like, whatever's going on with him, he shot those guys, so he's shooting this geometry underneath, right? More skeletons come back in, so he's shooting the skeletons, which is good. I don't think he sees the geometry here. Interesting. All right. And I'm kind of evil with this. I basically put geometry in the waterfall, so why don't I make a note about that? Invaluable. All right. Adjust bottom geometry / waterfall position here. Make sure that's right. All right, Q. All right. And it's a lot of visual noise there, right? So that's the other side of it. Plus, I mean, this wouldn't change anything. So yeah, so the skeletons keep pushing him back, right? That rock there is pushing him back as well. And then I have this head toss because I'm all kinds of evil. Where'd the head toss come from? So the head toss starts up here. Yeah, and I crushed him down in the corner. Okay, all right, that's fair. I can fix that.
I wonder if putting it on casual difficulty like changes anything other than how many lives you start with and stuff. Yeah, I will send him the Bog Hog playlist because I think it's invaluable knowledge.
It's fantastic.
I'll be honest though, like it's hard for me to really say anything so definitively because I feel like I just don't know enough about this genre. I've always had a problem with like do's and don'ts of design in anything. Because I feel like it like impedes some artistic essence that any creator should maintain. But I don't know if there's like a line to draw with like subjectivity and objectivity. Like you know, like what Bam said. We will finally eliminate inertia. Like, I would hate to play a shmup with inertia, but the thing is, I feel like every creator should have the right to use inertia in their game if it fits it.
Yeah. I mean, you would build your own... Okay, so very interesting unpack there, right? So first of all, I think the part of game design, game development, right, comes from our experience, comes from the way we interact, right, of course. And, you know, it comes with a lot of conveyance of what's going on in the game. I mean, all games are just games are puzzles, whether they're dexterity puzzles, intellectual puzzles, or otherwise, right? So, and shmups in a way are similar to that. They come with constant time pressure, generally in this particular case being the auto scrolling, of course. And I think, you know, sometimes you just go with your gut. I also recognize, you know, it's because you're not the first streamer friend that's been streaming a shmup while trying to interact with chat, while trying to communicate. So, and just like texting and driving, the moment you look away at chat and come back, you could have missed a few cues, as you may have missed where the enemies are coming from and how to stay on top of the enemies. And so then the screen starts to, what do you call it? You start to get snowballed, right? So, because you missed out on order of priority or whatnot, it can happen. Just shmups are really cool because they are very focus based gaming, right? Like they're flow state gaming, right? So the more that you stay in the flow and the longer you stay in the flow, the more you stay on top of the game. And the moment you miss your flow, you can have mechanisms to you know, like the bomb or a super to kind of reset the board for you. But understanding those mechanics, and it comes with time, right? So, and I think feedback wise, I think one is what you find appealing, what you're having fun with, you know, and you know, and I think the other side of it too, right, is, you know, where you're not having fun, visibility, weapon shots, like, you know, level design, there's all these things that can happen, and conveyance, right? Like you don't know why, 3 levels in your weapon sets are changing, right? And that's valid and fair. And part of my job as a developer is to try to understand where those gaps are and to reduce the gaps. So you don't have to think about those things. You can start to understand, oh, that's the letter P power up. That's what's happening here. So, and some of you can do a tutorial, but the thing is the tutorial is very low pressure. It's focused on being able to read and digest information. It's the very first time, most likely, that you've ever interacted with the game. So everything you teach, you know, unless you have reinforcement later on, but you know, I'm not a big fan of like hold your hand tutorials in that case throughout throughout levels, but you know, not all of that is going to stick as well. Anyways, good food for thought. I appreciate it. Let's keep going.
That's why I really don't want to just say, DrBossKey, aka the developer of this game, you should just watch this YouTube series and then do everything in it. Like, you would make a sick game if you did that. You'd make like a really good feeling game if you did that. But I don't know if I'm making any sense. I don't know if whatever I'm saying makes any sense. I feel like it should be a more granular approach where if it fits the current game, if it fits the creator's ideas. But maybe there is a little bit of objectivity to it. Like, for example, I think all your bullets should be obvious and like clear and good contrast and stuff, so you know that they're there. But stuff like no environmental hazards, I don't know about that.
So the Bog Hog series, I read the Shmup Designs 101 doc even before he turned them into videos. Fantastic. Lots of great stuff in there. And you're right. I mean, you know, like even having watched and digested those things, there's still the act of creation that I'm trying to achieve, and lessons I'm trying to learn too, right? Like with, you know, what I'm trying to convey and how I convey it, you know, and so I'm sometimes learning those lessons the hard way, but also, you know, like Bog Hog makes very much a Dan Maku style shmup, and you know, like one of the things that is fantastic about Dan Maku style shmups, right, is that you have your main weapon and your focus weapon, right? And your focus weapon will let you have your slowdown when you're using your focus weapon, and it's a more focused shot, right? And it has, and because you don't have a lot of weapons that are changing, it allows you then to focus on like what a big part of Demaku is, which is bullet dodging, right? Bullet hole, bullet dodging as well. I've got touches of bullet hell in this, but one of the things that I'm also trying to achieve is I'm trying to achieve this constant cycling of weapons as you progress and kind of get into the flow of the game, and that the weapons wind up changing your interactions with the worlds, and it's definitely different than a lot of like gun vein games and things like that, right? So you know, and it's like like you're trying to find your own unique expression, and it's definitely a journey and something we're all learning along the way. So for better or worse, you know, I'm very resistant to reducing the amount of weapons because the amount of weapons get me excited about the genre, and I keep tweaking and tuning these things, you know, but it's, you know, there's a reason why I don't think I've ever played a shmup with as many weapons as I currently have, and I've been working to improve. Man, my ass is hurting in this chair. I've been working to improve like the conveyance of the weapons and weapon utility and usefulness and power curve of weapons and all that good stuff too, right? In addition to, you know, to ship weapon placements and how those have an impact with just aiming your weapons and, you know, how you interact with the world. So, but yeah, it all comes together to be its own mix. Don't know if it'll be good, you know, but one of the things that I'm dedicated to is playtesting and tuning and iterating. So we're not done by any measure. And you know, it's definitely this types of things that are super invaluable because I can go away, think on these a little bit, and understand tweaks I can make to kind of not necessarily throw the baby out with the bathwater, but to not even necessarily make the game easier, but to make it more, to have it convey more, to give you that sense as a player, the challenges and how to be successful, because games need challenge, right? No risk, no reward with that. But conveyance is huge. So anyways, a little bit of my soapbox there. Let's hear what else Johnny has to say here.
Maybe if it fits the game.
Which reminds me, so very good point on momentum, right? Like, you know, like one of the most important things to a game, it's not every game, but just about, is control, right? Games are an interactive medium, and one of the reasons why momentum doesn't work in shmups, it can, right? Like, I mean, take Asteroids. Asteroids, the whole game is one part shooting and one part, you know, basically handling inertia and momentum, right? So with your thrusters. And I think it fits really well for that game because that's the core mechanic. But if you try to say, hey, you're going to do a bullet hell where you need precise micro dodging and macro dodging, and by the way, you're going to have to calculate inertia for that as well, it becomes... Doesn't mean it can't be done, but it's a hell of a tall ask, you know, for players to want to feel like, one, they have enough control to do that, which inherently it's a whole different level of interacting, right? Because you're tapping, basically, you're rotating and tapping the thrust button in an Asteroid style way to then control momentum. You could also do it with tapping on the directions or analog stick, some other things there too. Anyways, I digress. This is fun. This is fantastic. I've been waiting forever to watch this.
Okay, so that thing's still fired even though I didn't touch it.
Okay. He's learning. He's dodging the Lokis. See, the game's got a little bit of teeth right now, and he's trying to understand how to get better at it. I can already hear the gears turning.
How does Zero Ranger do it? If you don't die on collision, what's the point of an environmental hazard?
Mm-hmm. You can there's a few shmups where you can bump into it, so it only holds you in place. It doesn't do damage. And I could do that for this, but I kind of like the danger. Ah, see, the enemies forced him back a little bit. Whoa. Took damage there. But he switched to his bottom to try to see whether that was going to help him deal with the enemies. I can hear it. He's focused. Hear it.
I think the Bog Hog playlist is useful though, because I guess like when it comes to game design, you know, there's a technical aspect to it which I guess aligns more with objective truth rather than just subjective taste. Like if we're talking painting or music, fuck yeah, do whatever you want. That's pretty much all subjective. Especially like painting.
Oh,
But
and
games, you know, like it has to run well. It has to
there's a technical piece to it for sure.
like function. There's an objective side to it.
Super weapon online.
If you had a game that doesn't even open, I'd feel like it's not a game at that point.
No, it's
It's like a, you know, when an experimental artist releases an anti-record. It's not really music at that point,
see, now would be a good point for a super.
because you can't even listen to it.
I can hear him. He's not as focused in the spot.
This is, it's cluttered though, I will say. Oh, I ran into the pacifist thing. Okay, fine.
Okay, real quick. I need to go back and take a look. So we were doing great.
Like a, you know, doesn't even open. I feel like it's not a game.
So we got the short range weapon here. It's still
like
doing great.
You know, when an experimental artist releases an anti-record.
So I think just taking a look at what happened here, right? So mid screen, we're doing well. We've got this obstruction with geometry here, right? Bullets are colliding with it. We've got these guys coming through, creating pressure that keeps them shooting.
If you
Short range
have
weapon
a
though.
game that doesn't even open, I feel like it's not a game at that point.
He's dodging weapon. Okay, so we got bullets here. A lot of pressure from the skelly tippy toes guy.
It's like
Still doing all right though, but he's starting to get pushed back further and further, right? Which is fine. Clears those guys out because of the nature of this weapon, which is great. So the shelf is taking some of his bullets here. Took damage from the head toss there, unfortunately. And then he's down underneath. And then this is where it starts, right? So this piece of geometry, because he was down for some reason there, and then the head toss kind of pushed him back a little bit of damage, and then we got the constant pressure from the skeleton here. And then that's what happens here, right? So he's going to clean up the skeleton, but enemy, and this enemy is generating fairies, so they're going to create a lot of bullet pressure. We've got a Homer right here with this from the Soul Lantern, and then he comes down into this. So obstructed play space. He finds himself down in here. He's doing all right. And so he's on a really good train of thought here, right? And the thing with these guys, and it's part of the trick is you have to kill the nest, otherwise it keeps making fairies, and the fairies keep creating this space here. and then they have the projectiles, right? So it's actually getting quite dangerous here. The shots are helping him here, though. He's dodging, which is great. But the problem he has here is that the fairies are pushing him to the back, and the more you get pushed to the back, the more you have pressure coming from the right side, right? So, and these Lost Soul Wisps, they actually block your shots on top of it. And so the other thing that's happening here, right, is because he's pushed further back, because these are like, this is like a tanky enemy, right? That's creating pressure with kind of spawning these smaller enemies. So this particular projectiles, they only come out here, so they're kind of short range, but they're amazing, like homing, right? And so what's happening is that he's not able to do damage to the parasitic fairy plant. If he was using his bottom weapon has this big missile, the BFM, big fucking missile, and this would then also shoot through the fairies and also kill the nest. So that's kind of the trick here, right? But he could push up further and earlier, but the fairies are absorbing some of his shots here, especially since they're homer shots. So, and then you can see here the bullets. So then this he got bonked by the soul, the loft of the lantern. Let's take a look. Let's go back. Okay. I don't know what I would change here. I could be less evil with the soul lantern here. I mean, I feel like he was really on top of it really well. And then the thing is, okay, so as we watch him go through this, right?
It's like when
like this is fantastic. I mean, almost didn't get hit by the head toss there. I think that would have been fine. And then he goes from like, he gets pushed back, and then he's down in here. Maybe this is just enough pressure. All right, so let's do this. I don't want to like obviously make things much easier all the time, but changing one or two enemy types and sometimes spawn positions can go a long way. So let's take a look here. All right, let's get this back in there. Level 3. Fairy nest. Consider removing Lost Soul Lantern. We'll go back up here. See, that's the one there. Copy link address. All right, Q. All right. Because I think if he changed his weapons there, if he knew the tricks, that's the thing is like I know all the tricks, so it's not like you don't want to do game design where only you know all the tricks. You want people, people don't need to beat it necessarily the first time, but I can hear in his voice he's trying. He's also trying not to get frustrated a little bit. So
it's not really music at that point, because you can't even listen to it.
And there it was just bonking against the lantern. All right. So here that I really want a way to. We don't have the ability in the engine right now to adjust the sound effect when an enemy gets hit. Once we do, though, I'm going to make these little tink sounds, tink 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 tink, to give you a sense that they don't take damage. All right, let me take a note. Because it's a weird thing, right? So I have this enemy. I really like these enemies because they are proximity based. They have their revenge bullets, right, which he's learning. They don't completely read as an enemy, unfortunately. The proximity indicator is like, hey, if you go past this line, they explode. So I didn't want them to be too big as well. And you can't kill them, right? That's the other side, is that they absorb shots. That means that right now what he's doing, like enemy, there's a soul wisp there, more enemies are coming, and he's now been pushed back.
Because you can't even listen to it.
So finishes off the fairy, kills the soul wisp there. I'm really happy that these are smaller and more transparent. It'll be easier to see stuff, right? Yeah. All right, but anyways, here's what I was thinking. So lost soul wisp. Soul wisp. Consider adding. I don't know how I do this. Conveyance indicator that they don't take damage when being shot. Because I really like the fact that they basically absorb shots, but the conveyance is terrible for players, and also when you don't realize, because he's still struggling with like, hey, they glow, is it good? You know, they actually made them blue. Lost soul wisp. Consider making red. Because they sort of read like a power up tiny bit, right? So okay, food for thought. All right, let's take a look. So this is Costin right there, right? So he comes in, stops shooting, and then it wasn't too bad.
This is.
I want to hear what you have to say in a second.
This is. It's cluttered though, I will say.
Yeah, it totally is.
Oh, I ran into the pacifist thing. Okay. Fine.
Okay. All right, one more thing.
It's cluttered.
Because he doesn't really have a reset here. That's the other side of it. All right. Take another note. This is invaluable. Do 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 do. All right. Copy link address. Level Kivik. Level 03. Reduce enemies maybe top turret or skelly tippy toes in this section. And I think the answer is going to be not necessarily tuck enemies away into a monster trophy, question mark. So I like basically what went on here with the I mean, if you let it get out of control, it's going to kick you in the butt. Right? And there's opportunities for super to be used here, but there's a lot of stuff going on, and it might be just visually too noisy on top of it. Again, darken things down, that might be a thing too. But I also think that I could probably create dynamic enemy spawns behind a monster trophy for a couple of these areas. So for people that are struggling, they're not screen clearing. So the way you get more monsters is you complete screen clears for certain sections, right? And then you get the monster trophy, and then it's, you know, if you manage to kill the trophy, then you get the extra spawns. So and I think what I can do is I can reduce a couple of the enemies so it's not quite as just chaos right now. I don't want to go overboard because I still want to be challenging, but I could tuck these enemy positions into a monster trophy. So, all right.
This is. It's cluttered though, I will say. Oh, I ran into the pacifist thing. Okay, fine.
And the way, like, if for people going for score, basically fastest mode gives you the opportunity to get the highest score because it comes with the biggest risks, right? There's one per level in general.
Jesus Christ, okay. Alright, I think I agree with Tom. I think the ship should be smaller.
complete.
So this is what happened before. There's like 3 power-ups there that change your shot type, and in like level 1 I picked up all 3, and then I feel like some glitch happened where it just kept cycling through them.
Yeah, major conveyance issue with weaponry.
Oh, the skeleton throwing dynamite. I'm a fan of that. Alright, let me catch up. Limit the player movement option and force different approaches. I see. I like Super Alesta's environments. I feel like there's a lot to learn from the tried and true. It doesn't make it not your own vision to follow it.
Yep. Well said.
I guess. Yeah.
I mean, the way... Look, it's
also,
it's sort of like the argument of AI right now, right? There's a whole school of people that are like, look, all AI is, you know, when we're talking about image generation, chat GPT, all this good stuff, right? Is it's basically just, it's just a more convincing parrot. There's no creativity in that space. And people that interact with image generation, chat GPT, things like that, they aren't being creative, right? That's the sort of argument, because essentially what the algorithm is doing is it's breaking all of the image data along with the tagging of what these images are, and down to basically pixels. It diffuses them, and then it builds them back up based on the text prompt. And the argument is through that you can get generations that were never intended, but or not never intended. You get generations that were never considered. That's why you get like, you know, like a spaceman riding a bicycle, right? Stuff like that. And I think there's a lot of amazing stuff in that space. But at the basis, there is a level of copying that happens, right? And this is the way they teach art as well. And I'll get off my soapbox in a second. But you know, a lot of art schools, art classes, they will teach you like, okay, we're going to study the masters, the Rembrandts, the Picassos, and we're going to, as students, we're going to first learn to copy the masters. That's all your job is. You're going to paint like Picasso, paint your Picasso, right? And the idea is that once you've copied them, studied the masters and copied their works, and you can replicate their style, then you can mix all this together with a little bit of your own creative intuition, creative juice, whatever you want to call it, right? And what emerges out of all of this is your own voice, right? There's a lot of, you hear people talking about that, you know, when it comes to like art and expression. So, and I think the same thing can be said here, right? Like, you know, it is important to understand what the great hallmarks of shmups are, right? And the types of shmups, and like the art types and the life forces out there, Gradius, you know, they have their own flavor of shmupping, right? That they've brought, and you know, they built on that over years. Some of these studios have been in business developing games, and still very niche, but developing games for 20, 30 years, in some cases, even longer, in these cases, right? And there's a lot you can learn because they've learned a lot of the hardships there. So both immersing yourself deeply into the shmups, understanding what makes them great, which is why Bog Hog is fantastic. Gunvain's a fantastic game, right? It's a fantastic Damaku. And from there, figuring out how to make it your own is very important. Our game has rough spots for sure, and it has different influences. It's got a bit of that bullet hell, but not as big as like a Gunvain, for instance, right? It's got life force influences, it's got Gradius influences, and there's quite a few things. And I'm still learning. This is part of the, I'm over a year into this project at this point, and I'm still tweaking and tuning and trying to figure out how to improve the game, and to basically take those lessons that I think I've learned and translate them to the medium that is this particular game, right? So anyways, very, very, very interesting stuff. The rabbit hole is definitely deep, and I feel like I keep going deeper into it. All right, let's hear what Johnny is about to say.
Like, when providing constructive...
Go back.
And also, like, when providing constructive criticism to a creator, it's on them to decide whether to take it or not. I've been there.
Yeah, absolutely. We've all been there. It's so humbling. It's so humbling when people want to give you your time to interact with your art, right? And it, being a professional game developer, a QA guy, production, there isn't anything I haven't actually done. Doing this is my own, love of the genre and trying
I
to.
do like the boss designs in this. I think they're pretty cool.
Thank you.
But like I said before, this is a little bit too epileptic for me.
Okay.
I think that red flashing should be toned down. Name a better duo.
Nice. Yeah, hit her in the tail. Laser beams in the face. Uh-oh, now we're in. Take a look at that again. What hit him right there? What is that? Okay, so that's the flashing. No? So we got 2 hit points. What happened? So we go up and around. Oh, okay, I see. So he takes a point of damage there because it's the top of the flame, right? This is kind of flamey bits. And then he's flashing because he's invulnerable because he took that damage. And then right here, this is zoom him in right there. All right, interesting. Uh-oh. Almost got out of that.
I think I'm pulling off some sick dodges when I'm not. This game has health points, hit points. It's not just a one-hit kill.
Mm-hmm.
That's like another thing you see in all the Shmup design recommendations thing is like don't have hit points.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have a health bar.
Ooh. He just got kicked to the face by that tail.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that makes more sense if you're not making an arcade game.
Super Weapon Online.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily bad either.
Hmm?
I think it doesn't make sense in an arcade game.
Yeah, I think it's just it kind of depends. It depends on, I mean, at least with the core game loop in this particular case, hit points, because when you die, you reduce your weapon sets. It's like the Gradius syndrome, right? Where you have all your crazy weapons and then you get obliterated and you start over at your base weapon set, and then it makes it very hard to get back into the game because you have a weaker weapon set. I've counterbalanced that a little bit on my side, but I think the target, I mean, if there's a target audience for it, the gamer that I'm looking for is not quite like, I want the bullet hell hardcore STG folks to find some fun in this, but I also recognize that the game isn't going to be that high of a skill gap, and hit points kind of, or whole points, life, give you kind of that in between balance to help keep your momentum, still have some punishment. And, you know, I think that the other side of it too is, I mean, it's very easy for me to change your hit points to 1 and just be like, yo, like, you know, you live and die based on that. But I find also that when people are burning through lives like that, where because these big resets happen, you get destroyed and then reset, right? Like, and there's something to be said for that, maybe, because I can screen clear more. Because when you die, enemies stop shooting for a period of time. It's about 2 seconds. You're invulnerable when you come back to give you a little bit of maneuverability, right? But it means that you're in these loops, and maybe there's still something to be said. Let me take a note on that. Consider reducing, but I think the health to 1 HP. But I think I'm more or less trying to be on the side of the player to give them a little bit more help, because the game's a little bit harder. But again, a bit more like I'm definitely not making a casual, like, you know, shoot 'em up in this case. So all right, food for thought. I'm thinking about that.
Is this like a gauntlet? Like I'm in one room and I have to survive waves. I'm dead. Holy shit.
Yeah, we changed it up a little bit gameplay wise. Oh, nice. He was right in the right spot there. Ooh, I can hear him. He's trying. Nice back shot on that.
It is. Okay.
Uh-oh. That's tough. He was so he had the right idea, he just wasn't low enough to do damage to the demon spider tanks. Nice. The teleporters got him get out of the way. Nice. Oh boy. Nice. And yeah, he is pulling off some sick dodges here and there. That was a good, nice little macro.
I think it's good that there is an audio indicator that your super weapon is ready.
Super
like
weapon
in,
online.
Clover, there's a sound for when your lock-on thing is full.
Mm-hmm.
I like that, so you don't have to look at the meter.
Eventually, I'm gonna have a little particle effect that will also indicate, so you don't have to look anywhere else.
This is some Toho level. Oh my god.
Oh no!
I feel like this shit's impossible with a movement speed this fast, like step size that big. This feels like a bit where you're supposed to use analog controls.
Mm-hmm. I mean, micro stuttering might help there. I need to play again through with keyboard, so I'm purely digital or D-pad as well.
Does he become a boss?
Surprise and delight. Haha, you got the
we're
laugh.
just in space.
Yeah, we reduced the contrast on these, fixed our background parallaxing
Yeah,
as
I'll
well.
pick all three and I'll see if I get the glitch to happen. I don't even know if it's a glitch. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude.
He's having a good time. Nice. Nice! Oop, some damage there. Reduce the the visuals on
Is that like
those
a power
fireworks.
up on him?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool. Like this. I do like that. It's like parts of the boss.
When I first set it,
it reminds me of the tree in level 2.
When I first, so I've been working on the DrBossKey universe and the characters, and Gondis and Nada. This is the giant demon, angler demon, and this parasitic fairy. So started with DrBossKey, and then when he defeats these boss monsters, he converts them basically into these living weapons. So they collapse into these weapon forms, and then they're sentient, and he uses them. It's a very Mega Man-esque kind of like story, right? And when I first thought about, like, because I was creating all this stuff as part of my Twitch channel, and it was fun to do, and I've got plenty of characters and all this crazy stuff. I've been doing it for years now. And then when I thought about, I found Shmup Creator, I was like, ooh. And I imagined what it would mean for DrBossKey to fight these boss monsters. And then some of the art, some of the level backgrounds, some of the animation stuff I was working on, I envisioned this as the very first thing where he fights these kaiju monsters, like monsters, giant versions, Godzilla style versions of the enemy monsters. So, and he did it from like a spaceship perspective, right? In this case, I was like, ooh. And so it took 10 months to get to this point, so I could bring all of this together. But this was like kind of the encapsulating dream. There was way more in the game, but I've kind of focused it and cut it back. There'll be more games and other big boss fights, but that's partly why we're where we're at. Ooh, do a little damage there. Oh, we're in trouble. Nice. Pop that super. That's what it's there for. Oh. Power up got him there. Took some damage. I think he's going to be able to get her. Let's see. Oh, so close. Almost. She is killable.
Yeah, like that's kind of sick.
Thanks, man.
Like a big moving boss. A boss that like becomes environmental hazards. Like I quite like that. I think that's really cool. Like we're fighting this big like minotaur dude. I don't know why in space though, I will say. Also, these bullets are really hard to see because they're like white with a cyan glow. There really needs to be a higher contrast for this kind of thing.
Nada, I think I've already changed them, but I'll double check. Nada bullets, hard to read due to white. It's more like a white blue, but white particle, white blue glow particle, and lower contrast compared to the background. And then again, this version, the background also, because it has so much contrast, I've really toned that down to make the other stuff pop. So take a second look and we'll see. All right, cool.
If I could say anything, like I know I was saying all my shit about objectivity, blah 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 before. One thing is like visibility. Getting visibility right in these games is so important.
Yeah, I've been struggling.
Lower the contrast of the background and increase the contrast of bullets of enemies, and then even more increase the contrast of bullets.
Mm-hmm.
And like tone down the glowy effects. I think it's really hard to see. Like,
yep, I've toned those down, and it's iteration.
Like,
we're working on it.
Done here.
Yeah, it's the hard part of the boss.
Of course, some of this might be a skill issue. That's definitely something to take into consideration whenever providing constructive criticism for something.
Oh, he missed the super.
But you know, DrBossKey knows this shit. He makes stuff. He'll know.
Yeah, we're working on
If
it.
he thinks something I say is wank, he doesn't have to listen to it. I'm just some guy.
Hey, man, you're playing my game, and that's incredibly humbling. Thank you so much. Oh, that's super! Actually help the player. Oh, God. Super!
I see that. Are these
Super!
blue things targeting around me? Yes. Okay, so I guess it makes sense to hang back, let the blue things go as big as possible.
He's trying to figure out the pattern. I mean, the pattern's easier than it was. I've tweaked it quite a bit since then, but it's a hard pattern. Here we go. Pop it. He's trying so hard.
Oh, it's like 3 health bars.
Yeah.
I see the super weapon does a fuckload of damage.
Okay. His bottom weapon would also be just wrecking.
That's it. My god, yeah, that was a very long boss.
This is the whole level's a boss fight, basically.
Alright, let's catch up. Lords of Thunder was also on the Turbo CD. Challenge level 1. I wonder if that's like all the normal levels are done. Now it's just challenge stuff. The issue is when a shmup throws walls and expects you to tank it, and that's why TLBs blow. Like Mushihime-sama's TLB. It's just like a resource check. The Sega CD just has a retuned soundtrack. Where though is considered equal.
All right, let me. I'm gonna pause this for just a second, get a drink and a bio break. Back in a sec. And we're back from outer space. All right, let's keep going.
Oh well, yeah. If it's on the CD, that's like generally you'll generally get like high quality audio. I wonder if the Sega CD could use Redbook audio. Yeah, it was like a deadly cod piece. I don't know how we went from hell to space. Is this loop 2? In the levels select, there was stage 1 to 4, and then challenge levels. I don't know if this is like a second loop, and I wonder if that Minotaur dude was like the final boss or something.
You're intuiting, right? And it means it's actually reading as I kind of want it.
If I just die instantly, I'll die instantly anyway.
So one of the things about challenge levels is that where I try to roll things out, this is now a remixing of enemies and a bunch of other things. I take the gloves off, make it harder.
Okay. Yeah, if it had revenge bullets, I'd be dead. Like, no chance. Okay, so it is like a...
Cool.
I guess it's like a loop 2 kind of deal. it's more like a range, I guess, or just
Yeah,
like
it's like an range.
just like remixed levels. This is what I was talking about. I quite like the tree enemy.
I'm not sure. I had a bug in this build where the treants in the background are missing.
I think that type of thing is kind of cool. Now, when I received this demo from DrBossKey, he did say a lot of it is placeholder and blah blah blah. Like, yeah, it is alpha, but I will say, I think the game would go a long way if the aesthetic cohesion was considered a bit more. Like, we're in the forest level, yeah? I think the enemies should be like foresty themed rather than like demons or stuff. Like, the fairies make sense, you know, it could be like a magical forest, but maybe not like this alien abomination. And like, I don't know why we fought the Minotaur dude in space. Why was it not like a big hell cavern or something? And to be honest, that kind of thing reminded me of when I watched my friend play Ast Libra, because that game is like not much. Like, the levels don't really have like a consistent aesthetic cohesion. It's just like stuff that looks cool on its own, all put together. I think the game would go a long way if like that stuff is considered a bit more.
Yeah, part of it is it comes down to production budget.
Well, maybe even like the scope of the game. Maybe it could be all foresty stuff, and like then there's variations. You know, like I've been playing a lot of Escaluda. All of it is steampunk, like kind of fantasy steampunk, and then there's just little variations within that. You know, there's like unique enemies per level, and then sometimes you see repeats of them. But you know, for example, stage 4, I think of stage 4 as the one with the big flocks of these bird-looking enemies. Stage 6, I think of like the robot things. I think this game has a lot of potential. I think there's like that sprite over there of like these disembodied heads, those are really cool. But you know, I could say, why are the sprites kind of chunky? Why is it like pixely and everything else is like, you can tell it's hand drawn?
It's temporary,
or at least illustrated.
It's all updated now. Placeholder.
I don't know.
I appreciate that.
And yeah, these do feel like challenge levels. These are pretty tough. I don't think I would stand a chance if I wasn't on casual mode. Oh my god. That is a JPEG if I've ever seen one.
You should see what the new guy looks like. He's awesome.
Oh, is that like specifically from Aria of Sorrow?
Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but also used in.
These are like, which Dodonpachi is it with? One of the Dodonpachis has a boss that shoots these big fireballs.
Dodonpachi is such a good game.
It might be DOJ. I don't know. DDP stage 5, okay. You know the one I'm talking about, it's like these big vertical fireballs that
I think so.
They move vertically and they get smaller. Oh, okay. if he comes back, yeah. Okay. I would like to see I'd like to see everything in this demo before putting it down.
I'm gonna do this. End of level selection. Remove level choice. I mean, the thing is it's fine that you can go back to level select to choose other levels, but I think in terms of progression, we can leave level select at the very beginning. Because there, if you get a game over, you can at least come back and then pick your difficulty level again and then pick up where you left off. Not a huge punishment there. We had level select in there back when we had a design for the overworld and there was going to be some meta exploration. You were flying across the landscape and all this good stuff, but it doesn't really fit anymore. So I think one of the things I can do at this point, unless I have cutscenes, which I'm not going to do much in the way of cutscenes, but maybe just a couple little text boxes to link together, like kind of what's going on. Just a couple of hints there. I don't think there's a reason to really go back. I'm going to take that under consideration.
The forest again? I thought it would have been like the other levels, but just remixed. Like This is what I was talking about before. These evil flower things, that fits in a forest.
Mm-hmm.
This thing, not really. This thing looks like it should be in a space level or something.
I'm not sure where this thing is ever going to fit.
The skeletons are really good, I will say.
Super weapon online.
Yeah, because I also take the gloves off and I'm making more challenging enemy spawns and combinations of enemies. It helps me.
I think the
frames
I
them
guess
lanes
that's
a
like
little more.
a score multiplier. The fuchsia letters that appear on top of the ship.
Which I've also changed.
I don't like that they go on the ship. I think it obscures your visibility.
Yep, already fixed. I just fixed that recently, actually. Nice. Good use on the
Feels
super.
pretty weak. Yeah, it kind of does. I can't tell if like there's a way to level it up. I'm just gonna get squished again.
He does not like
Hey,
getting
no
out.
worries, Umbro. Have a good evening.
I tell you, it's like playing shmups and reading chat is like texting and driving. It's tough. It's a hard skill. Oh yeah, those guys are all fixed or updated now.
Those bullet sprites are pretty cool, but things that look like viruses.
Yeah, the updated art is great for
Or
those
they're
guys.
enemies. I guess they're enemies, actually.
They're enemies and bullets.
With how these challenge levels are laid out, it just makes me think of them as like extended enemy gauntlets rather than like a remix of a stage. That kind of thing. Maybe that's all it is. I don't know. I'm also DrBossKey. When you watch this VOD, I'm not the person to talk about scoring with, so I've got nothing to say on scoring.
No worries.
I
There
haven't
is this-
even been paying attention to what it is. I see that there's like a combo meter thing in the top right.
Nice, good job. Yep. I'm on the fence whether or not I'm going to teach
Maybe
the
it's like
scoring
DDP
system.
chaining.
Yep, that's exactly right. It's very similar to DDP chaining.
I've never scored in anything. One day.
Super.
Today.
Yeah. Yeah, he's eyeballing it. Look.
Speaking of scoring, pacifist mode, that's the thing just on top left. That pickup thing. That has to be a scoring thing. Otherwise, what would the incentive be? I don't know what I think about like a gameplay remixer that you elect to do in the middle of the stage. Like a bonus difficulty thing. That's what it is. If you guys didn't see, if you pick up that icon, you enter pacifist mode for 40 seconds, you can't fire and you have to stay alive. I don't know what the benefit is if you do. It must be scoring, right? It's gotta be.
It's score, and it's also you get weapons. So it gives you the ability to have weapon selections, but also it's primarily about score. And you also get you get bonus ships and other things.
Oh, boy.
So by
these spider bullets are cool. That's really creative.
I just did an updated version of this boss last week.
That is certainly a crazy JPEG. Also, I noticed when I booted this game up that this game is being created in... It seems like... You know how like RPG Maker is like a tool set or a program to make RPGs in? There's one called like Shmup Creator or something, or Shmup Maker. And that's what this one is made in. And I wonder if that's where some of these limitations are appearing from.
Some
like
of it.
Stuff looking JPEG-y or
Nah, that's just art.
whatever. Like I wonder if it's an inherent limitation of this engine, I guess you could call it.
Just art. Takes time to make quality
This is
art.
Crazy.
It is pretty crazy.
I think I used 30 lives to get there. Is that just the mid-boss?
No.
No, it's not.
I'm not that evil.
Pretty sure Game Maker is better. What's your reasoning? Alright, I'm just gonna let my wrist have a break. Holy hell.
Oh yeah, because he's playing on a joystick, right? On an arcade stick, not a joystick.
What is that sound conveying?
It's a bug in the engine, and I think it's fixed already.
That almost seems like a countdown timer thing, a time limit to pick what you want to do, but there was no timer on screen. There you go, level 1 remix. Okay. I made a really jank shmup in Game Maker many years ago. Oh, cool. I didn't know. What were your ideas? Just make shit cool, or what were you doing in it? It's just not as limited. I see. I've got no clue on the scope of what Shmup Creator... Excuse me. Of what Shmup Creator can do, for example. There's Open Arms Maximum, which is a pretty good Shmup Creator shmup.
Oh.
I'll have a look into
Oh yeah,
it
that's right.
after
Open
this.
Arms Maximum. I played that.
I think this might be the final challenge level. These cat enemies with hearts are pretty funny.
And he caught that at the very end. Interesting.
Monster Trophy.
I didn't want people to get those monster trophies by accident, so they're a little beefier, but he's had a really hard time destroying them after the first few.
These must just be like a... Like, I wonder if these are random. I wonder if these enemy placements are random.
They are not.
Because I'm not really feeling any sense of, like, flow in these enemy positions. I don't really feel like I'm being, you know, guided one way or another, or that any of these enemy combinations or bullet pattern combinations are like their own mini challenge. It just feels like constant reflex type of stuff. A lot of it seems like incomprehensible to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't even know what I'm doing. Holy fuck, yeah, it's Tiger Schwert up there.
Yeah, so there is a method to the madness, for sure. Especially with, you know,
Alright.
but
Zero knee.
you can, I mean, you can get snowballed pretty quickly depending on where your focus is. So, and there is a way to go through it. Although there are a few things like with that monster trophy you picked up, it made enemies pop in
Still
as
go casual because
as late they
30
were.
lives. Yes, please.
It's hard. It's maybe too hard. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do.
Okay. It despawned.
I think I fixed that
That's
version.
A weird glitch.
I think this build also the only way you could get to challenge 4 was to go through 3. I fixed that. All right, let's see what he does. He's done this once before.
Okay, well, this enemy appeared for the first as this enemy appeared first last time as well.
I can hear he's getting
so
fatigued.
It mustn't be random. Same with this group of these.
Let's see. Challenge level 3. Monster trophy being grabbed late. Spawns flayed heads pretty deep into screen. I'm not sure what to do there. I just need to think about it.
Skull things.
Basically
Same.
what that is, right, is so I think partly what I can do, so let's see. I think I tied that. So when you kill the sea Satan here, it spawns this monster trophy, which spawns pretty late. And then he manages to pick it up, right? Which is cool. But that causes this boom, which is pop in, pop in, pop in, enemy, enemy. So this is, you know, the extra chaos that comes from that. I need to think about if I need to create a little more distance for that monster trophy, or maybe push the monster trophy, push these guys back a little bit. Got to be careful with the enemy layering, but all right, I got that. Food for thought.
Same with this group of these skull things. Yeah, it seems fixed.
It is a special blend of evil.
I don't know, Tom. I've got no clue.
Not sure what the question was.
That's why I picked casual mode for 30 lives. You know, that being said, I don't know any shmups that have like a remix hard mode type of deal. Oh, I guess Ketsui with the IKD version, but I don't really know if the enemies are harder or if it's just scoring is harder. Because that's like, you have to be closer to stuff to get the 5 chips.
Holy shit,
really
this is
know.
crazy.
And there's like DDP Death Label, which is just bullshit. This game needs Carcassonne. I'm with you on that one.
Carcassonne. Not sure what that means.
See, look at these things. If I touch any of them, they all burst into their own. Oh my god.
Okay. I don't think I've ever seen anyone play it like that. Okay, so let's see here. All right. Challenge level 3. Despawn. How do I get rid of... Okay, I think I have to do a setup. 3 mecha chopper should leave before first giant dead sea dragon. Yeah, because this is creating unintended consequences. So, this is what happens, right? So, I didn't ever expect this guy to live this long into the level. So we'll fix that.
Please kill me.
It's harder than I expected. I wasn't anticipating that. And the bullet patterns are pushing him down from killing this thing, so... There we go.
That thing almost looks like Tiger Schwert.
And I think I've done since I've done this, I've done a pass on power-ups. And
I think this is the most game of all time.
The most game of all time. Watch the tail. Tail whacking. This is even before I put in the sound effect for hull damage. Nice. Oh shit.
Is there
do it?
boss coming up? This stage has gone on so long the music doesn't loop. Or does it? I don't know.
Yeah, it was a soundtrack change. And these levels have had way less playtesting, so this is fantastic to watch. All right, so he's got a little breather. He's back on top of it.
Okay, yeah, I've said it twice before. I'll say it again. I really don't understand why my shot type is changing. Like, I have a rapid shot and I have like a focus shot, but it's like the type is changing. Is it a scoring thing? Did I just pick up a thing that does it? I know I just picked up a letter P. For power? I don't know. Why would that change the type? It should just change its power.
Mm-hmm. I got you covered. I know what you're saying. It's conveyance.
Astral Ripper, look at him. Dear God, that is a big sprite.
Yeah, this I just got done updating this boss battle too.
Kind of do like this pattern though.
Yeah.
This is a cool pattern, I think.
Yep, and the I mean the basic
Oh, dear God, now it's What's that game called? Psyche Metal.
Yeah, I really need to play with a.
Yeah, this I'm
do a
playing
keyboard
Psyche
playbook.
Metal right now. I really don't like these orange projectiles.
I reduced their glow.
That is so fucking epilepsy on the right.
Yeah, I'll definitely put a warning in the game description. I wouldn't want anyone to buy this game and with epilepsy.
Actually, I'm gonna suggest if you have photosensitivity issues, do not watch this part of the stream. I mean, you probably already are having a seizure by this point, but like this thing, that's real. That's like really epileptic. I can't think of the correct adjective to use. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I changed these boss these patterns here. I think I like the new ones to give you a little bit more breathing time, which is good. I still kept these orbs, of course.
I don't know what that green triangle is. In the near the health bar. Is that the mid boss? I said that twice.
Yeah, they're on the
Next
levels are on the
level.
the longer side. All right.
What's next?
He's fatiguing, and I'm glad that we're
thought
pretty
that
much
was
done.
JW.
Oh, this was the Just Wolf build.
Oh.
That's right. I forgot about that.
What the fuck? This is so true. I'm convinced this game is a shitpost. God, what was that Christmas themed shmup that Caro told me about? Where you have to like diarrhea on people to save Christmas.
That sounds hilarious. I still have Just Wolf in the game.
That guy, that's a JPEG of the CEO of Cave. Barfa Sigmas too, that's it.
Okay, so we have one more
Sickness,
challenge level in the game now. I forgot that
I think
final
it was
challenge
like
level wasn't even a thing
sickness
back then.
instead of sickness. Yeah, that should have been the final TLB of STOJ. I really like how the flames come out of his mouth. A wiener is you. Oh my god, thank you. I'm wiener. I guess that's it.
Nice. That was I got quite a few action items here, so that's great. I appreciate it.
I don't think there's any. Oh, I want to see the weapon room, actually.
No, okay. Oh, I also put a little secret down there. I forgot which version of the weapon room this is.
Yeah, I want to see the weapon room.
I'm tired. This is intense.
Okay, spawn weapons, weapons stripper.
Alright.
Okay, so I was right. The P is what gives you a different weapon. Well, I don't understand what the difference is between the P pickup and the there was this other thing which is like
The
a
weapon
weapon
plate.
select. Weapon stripper, you know, strips weapons. Or it's a stripper who is a weapon. This was the best weapon, I think. Well, that's the best focus attack. I don't like these gold stars that spawn, though. They, like, really, really, really clutter the screen. Like, that's what was happening. I thought they were projectiles. Oh, those spinning things were mine? I think this was the best rapid shot. I really didn't like this one.
Yeah, you got stuck
This
a couple
felt
times.
like I
with
didn't have any control over what I was doing. That's a good rapid shot, I think. I don't know about this one.
I could, you know, put the weapon room up front just to let people explore and experience it. That might be a thing. I don't know. I had to think about it.
I didn't see this one. I had this one during the Minotaur boss. This one was useful.
I really like the plasma rope.
There's a lot of weapons in this game, and I didn't see all of them. What's this? Oh, that's like a leftover of the UI.
Oh yeah, this I tweaked and did an arrangement on weapons a little bit as well.
These just look like the same weapon.
They are.
That's
That's
because
it.
they are, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Oh, and a pacifist mode thing showed up. I
It was-
actually want to see what that does. Why would a pacifist mode thing show up in the
It was just
weapon
janky.
room?
Just janky. I apologize.
Silver Garden kneels. Alright. What happens when I pick up all of them? I don't know. Oh, weapons. Okay, so weapons
that's right.
stripper just puts you in pacifist mode for a little bit.
Ah,
'cause
okay.
That gets rid of your weapons. All right.
That's right.
Well, that's pretty much the game. There isn't. I don't think there's anything else to look at. What about like in the menu and stuff? I went through the settings, but I don't know if there's more game to see.
Aw, well, thanks for checking it out.
Start settings. I will say oh, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to see what it's like to play with mouse and keyboard. If it supports mouse anyway. The
Keyboard, not mouse.
The controller rebind thing it needs work.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
'Cause,
I
like-
think we've already fixed a bunch there.
I'm pressing up and down and it's rebinding all
Yeah,
the
it's
keys
terrible.
to up and down.
Should be fixed now.
You know, like you have to go to the thing, press a button, and then use the keyboard to go to the next thing. Press a button, keyboard, press a button, keyboard, press a button. You can't just like use the stick to move to it. You have to use both, which is something that's an easy fix.
Mm-hmm.
But
Actually, I think I need to disable analog stick
keys.
for menu navigation.
Otherwise, the menus are unusable.
Yep. I'm gonna take a note about that.
I don't know what dead zone means for this. Alright. Now, let me disconnect my stick. And I am just going to see what one level, maybe less than one level, is like with... mouse and keyboard. Because I think this actually has analog controls.
Because you could just use D-pad and it's digital at that point.
No, K, select, L back. Keyboard. Shot. What do I... Oh no, it's doing the same thing.
Fixed.
Alright, I'll just go J, K. There's no shot 4 in the game. Maybe it's coming, I don't know.
No plans now. Oh boy, I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm glad we fixed a bunch of stuff in the menus.
I think I've bound these wrong.
Hit the default. Of course, in my description text, I tell people don't mess with the options because I knew this was in there.
Right. Down. Left. Okay, there we go.
Nice. This is good. I'm curious how it's going to feel to him.
Well, I mean, I'm using a keyboard. That's still digital controls. Okay, I'd have to go get my gamepad from the other room, which I don't really want to do right now. All right, yeah, I don't want to test that.
Appreciate it. Okay, are we done?
So DrBossKey, shoot him up.
Yeah. Okay. Woo. All right, let's head on over. Whew. Speaking of which, there we go. Game's so good. All right, Johnnyhelicopter, dude. Sincerely, thank you very much. This is insanely valuable. I'm hoping you'll have the stamina to maybe play a new version of the game at some point. We're nearing that finish line. I've got a good laundry list of things I need to tackle here. It's very eye-opening, and you know it wouldn't be possible to craft a quality game and to make it what it is without people willing to play it, right? And that's huge. So thank you to your community and to you for the efforts. Much appreciated. I'll make sure that I leave a link in the description to Johnnyhelicopter if you want to catch up with him in his community over on his Twitch page. Again, plays all kinds of games. Super cool guy. Very cool. To everyone else out there, thank you very much. If you got this far into this video, I know it's a long video. Thank you so much. And just so you know, we post builds about twice a month. Anyone's free to play them. I put the links in the description. You can head over to our Discord server. It's invaluable. I try to make it a point to, even if I'm delayed, to watch all of these, to make sure that I go through, to do the live commentary, and to do game crafting, in the way that I think that it should be done. All right. Thank you, everyone that's out there, and we'll see you next time. Bye.